Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes got two huge commits from blue chip prospects this weekend. It bumped the recruiting ranking up into the top 20 as Coach Prime is building towards something truly special and elite in Boulder. They have the second best recruiting class in the Pac-12, and when you consider that USC is leaving for the SEC in just a year, they truly do have an impressive Pac-12 class that next year would rank as the best in the country. But that's not our story today. While we'll tell you about both recruits in just a moment, that's not the full picture. Colorado is just getting started, and the floodgates are about to open in Boulder. Coach Prime is getting elite talent on campus, and that's not going to slow down anytime soon. We told you yesterday about the five-star cornerback Charles Lester III that was on campus this weekend. Remember, he's the elite defensive back from Sarasota, Florida, just an hour away from where Coach Prime grew up. There are others on campus this weekend, next weekend, and the coming weekends as well. Coach Prime has been working extensively and very strategically to continue to get more and more top-level recruits and talent out to Boulder, and it's going to continue to pay off. There will be several more celebratory weekends like the ones we've had this weekend where Colorado gets multiple elite blue chip prospects. Let's talk about the two commits they got this weekend. Then we want to point some things out to you a little bit later in the video about Coach Prime and the recruiting efforts that are taking place for our Buffaloes. Zacaro Lewis is our first prospect that we want to talk about. He is a 5'10", 160-pound wide receiver out of Tampa, Florida. Goes to Carrollwood Day School. That's about 15 minutes from where I live. Extremely talented kid. Folks in the Tampa area here are super high on him. He is a 4-star on the 247 composite. Kid is a freak athlete. A lot of people worry about his size, say that he's kind of small, a little bit undersized, but he is extremely fast. Runs track, has great speed, an absolute burner. Even though he's a little bit small, he is absolutely a willing blocker too. I know huddle tapes aren't always loaded up with blocking highlights, but from people that have been to games and seen him compete in person, he absolutely does not mind getting down and doing the dirty work as well. And I think this is a big reason that Coach Prime and his staff really like the kid. They like that Lewis is not only willing to make the big-time highlight play, he's willing to get in there and get his nose dirty and do what's needed and what's absolutely best for the team. He is a huge chunk play threat. And when I say chunk play, not just 10, 15, 20 yards. This guy is an absolute threat to take it to the house every time he touches the ball. His track speed gives him a leg up on just about every defender on the field, and his size and elusiveness make him almost impossible to get down on the ground at times. Not only does he play wide receiver, he lines up as running back at times. I could very easily envision him playing out of the Wildcat at times at Colorado. He is a dynamic athlete that you just have to get the ball in his hands and then get out of the way and watch him work. Next up, our second prospect that committed this weekend is Brandon Davis-Swain. He is a 6'4", 240-pound defensive lineman out of West Bloomfield, Michigan. He, again, is a top 200 overall player according to the 247 composite, a very highly rated 4-star who had offers from both Michigan, Notre Dame, and Auburn. He's got great size, and you just cannot teach 6'4". At 240 pounds, he's got a little bit of room to bulk up even more. Great athleticism for the size that he is. He moves extremely well, as you can kind of see in some of the highlights that we're showing. Good tackler, good fundamentals. I think he's very strong. They like his strength out there in Boulder. They do think that he can move people with relative ease. He's very long, so he can line up on the edge. He can also get after the quarterback, and he's got great pursuit. Really, really good at using his hands to get around defenders, and he is a sure tackler. Love the way that he wraps up and he tackles very fundamentally. He stays in his lanes well. He does not get blocked out of the play very often. He does a great job of both pursuit and contain, lining up there at that defensive end position. He is very, very good, and I do think he is going to be a very solid piece for Colorado for years to come. I've got a big takeaway here, but just before we get to that, I want to show some love to our friends over at Gramco. Gramco makes these videos possible. They are a great supporter of the Prime Time for College Football. They've been a great supporter of every project that I've undertaken over the last couple of years. And if you haven't tried their Delta 8 products, I need you to stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game today. You can go to thegramco.com right now. Use code PRIMETIME. That's PRIMETIME, all one word, to get 20% off. Get the blue raspberry gummies. You can get them for like $4 or $5 after you use the code. You absolutely need to try them today. If you don't like them, let me know, and you can send them to me. I'll take a couple more of them, but I promise you, you're going to like them. Thegramco.com, PRIMETIME for 20% off. Okay, here's the big takeaway. Coach Prime is not anywhere close to done. You guys saw what he did in the portal, pulling in the #1 transfer portal class in the country, and now it's high school recruiting time. Coach Prime has always been a guy who's going to do this, but he is absolutely going to outwork people on the recruiting trail. Guys want to get to Boulder, and they want to see what's going on at Colorado. Listen to these kids when they take their visits. What do they all say? They say, I just had to get out there. I just had to see what was going on with my own two eyes. I just wanted to learn from Coach Prime. I just wanted to experience the hype myself. And what's the end result? Coach Prime is going to continue to keep building this roster the way that he sees fit. Think about, guys, when the season gets here and you've got kids visiting for a sold-out game against some of the top Pac-12 teams in the country. The atmosphere for the spring game was unreal. But think about what it's going to be like when toe meets leather and Colorado gets to take on some opponents that aren't wearing the same colored jerseys as they are. What's the ceiling for this class? I've spoken with multiple experts who cover recruiting on a daily basis for their living, and they truly believe that the ceiling for this class is sniffing that top 10 level. Again, a team that won one game last year is going to get very close, if not into, that top 10 range. Currently, they sit at number 19. But Coach Prime will have them knocking on the door of a top 10 class if things go according to plan in Boulder. Now, he's going to need to land a 5-star or two, and he's going to need to land a few more elite top-level 4-star kids. But there's no shortage of talent that's coming to Boulder over the next few weeks and months. Continue to keep an eye out on the channel. And we love the fact that you guys interact with us down in the comments. We love the subscribers that end up watching all of our videos and give us praise. Listen, we don't need the praise. If you'd like to subscribe, we'd appreciate it. We're going to continue to bring you really, really good Colorado content. Make sure that you're locked in with us. But more than anything, make sure that you keep an eye on the elite talent that continues to come into Boulder. It's not slowing down anytime soon, and neither are we. We're going to cover every bit of it, and we're going to give you our take on both commits, decommits, transfers, games once they get started, everything to do with the staff and the roster. Make sure that you're locked in here, and make sure you've got an eye on what's going on in Boulder, because it truly, truly is special. We went in depth on what we thought about Colorado's chances with 5-star Charles Lester III. If you missed that video, you can click right here to watch it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching the Prime Time for College Football.